Hi, I'm Ken Krell. Speakers, authors, coaches, thought leaders come to me to discover how they can take their current position and turn it into high-powered, high-profit, transformational digital events. I can do the same for you too. You're about to watch an excerpt of one of our online events that I think you may find very powerful. After that, I'll meet you and we'll talk about it.
Want to co-create. I mean, co-creation is amazing, and that's why I said you build fanatical community by co-creating, by not like feeling like you need to be 100% responsible for the transformation. Like I'm responsible for their transformation. If they don't get it, then they can just leave my community. They obviously don't understand. It's like you just have to be in the mindset of no. You need to bring in other people that maybe are saying the same thing that you're saying, but maybe don't look like you. Maybe that have a different socioeconomic background. Maybe that's because people need to hear the same thing said by somebody else sometimes, because for whatever reason they just need to know that somebody else's story, or like it resonates with them. Or say like me, I'm the middle child of 7 kids, and if I tell that story but I say the same thing maybe as you on my Facebook Live, maybe somebody needed to hear, oh, I've been saying that I couldn't do this because I come from a big family, but now that I'm hearing it from Warren, it finally clicked. You know what I mean? So it's like really like getting out of kind of like your ego in a sense, and being like, I don't have to be responsible for 100% of my community's transformation. I can bring in somebody else to even say the same thing that I'm saying, and and like strengthen the relationship that I have with my community. Because another kind of example that I bring up is kind of, when Oprah was doing her talk show, lots of times we attribute all of our learnings and all of our wisdom to Oprah. And in a lot of ways, when she was interviewing people, she would reframe what they said in a way that we could understand as the audience, or that we could kind of like make sense. When she was so great at interviewing that she almost like reframed what these thought leaders were saying, or what these people were saying on her show, in a way that was palatable, or that we could understand. But we attribute all of our success and our learnings to Oprah. We don't really remember who was on her show that said something. We're like, Oprah said it. It's like, well, no, her guest said it. She reframed it and said it to you. So you always have to think kind of like that way as a community leader. When you bring in people, they're going to attribute typically their successes to the fact that it happened on your platform. And so I always try to like think of that. It's like, who can I bring on, or what programs can I create? Like we did this thing called Interview with an Octopus, which was a campaign I created because I asked my community. I would go to aquariums and they'd be like, wow, I wish I could go to an aquarium. My parents can't afford it. Or I don't have access, or this or that. And I was just like, okay, well, I'm going to create this campaign called Interview with an Octopus, where I'm going to virtually bring you, and you can ask questions on Facebook Live, so that you can feel like you're there at least, or you can feel like you can get your questions answered. And so I created that campaign and worked with, I think, like 15 or 20 aquariums. And every single time I was speaking in a different city on like community building, I would visit the aquarium and do an activation, or do like an encounter. And just went and did this campaign and built, relationships with all of these aquariums all over the world. And it's like I said, it's just figuring out who currently caters to an audience that would be interested in what I'm interested in, who shares our core values, who shares in our mission statement, and how can we collaborate with them and co-create campaigns to build our community the right way, not in a way that is vanity metrics, because we know plenty of people that have millions of followers that get like 13 likes. And this, Octonation, when I say we have 400,000 people, there are people that understand what the community is about, who it's for, what we provide, what they can expect, and they feel empowered to refer that to people that they come in contact with. And I feel really great about that, instead of saying, oh, we have millions and millions of people, and we're kind of all over the place. It's like, no, we're very clear with what we do. And I feel like everybody understands, and so you have to think of that when you're building that in your community. Do you have all those elements? So that clarity within your messaging, the core values, that community identity, is that very clear? Does your content, when you look at your content, does it map back to your core values, so that you can get your marketplace message out? Are you collaborating with people that that show up with your core values or demonstrate some aspect of your core values that you're happy about. And it's just like, having that kind of system or that process. Um, and yeah, so it's really, really exciting.
I find it amazingly exciting, and the comments that have been coming through have been all in favor of that. Warren, for those of us that want to learn more about what you've done, you put together a ridiculously crazy offer. So tell us a little bit about what you've got for us at opportunitython.com/specials.
So opportunity, basically how to find your super fans. I kind of was talking through it. For all you visual learners, you're really going to like it because I'm a visual learner as well. So I have, graphs and this idea of like, how do you define clarity? What are examples of core values? How, you can get the Facebook algorithm or Instagram algorithm to show your content to more people. And so it's really how to go through finding your super fans and how to develop a community where people are clear with what you do. And then the biggest part of that is how do you strategically collaborate? Because I didn't really talk about my background, but I worked as a studio manager for a celebrity fashion photographer. So I got to see, on a very high level, how does Calvin Klein choose global brand ambassadors, Mont Blanc, J. Crew, works with these companies to really figure out how do they choose influencers. And so I go through that process of, how do you get to a point where you're co-creating campaigns with big players, even from the very beginning. Even if you have 40, 50, I don't care if you have 100 followers, you can still create the best content and assets for your community. And so that's what I'm giving away in the specials.
So that's one short taste of how you can use the power of digital events to help people transform their lives and find a new way to live. Want to learn how you can put it to use in your own business? Well, stick with me for the Digital Events Essentials Plan. It's called DEEP. It'll take you through how you can plan, produce, and profit from your own online events. It's pretty great, it's pretty free, and I think you'll like it pretty much. So come join me. Click the link either in the description below or somewhere on this video itself, and we'll take you over there. It's completely free. I think you're going to love it, and it will give you the plan you need to plan, produce, and profit from your own digital events.